Hey everybody, D Amazing here, bringing another review. This time is of the Mafex Knightmare Batman. From Batman v Superman, Nightmare Sequence, Nightmare Dream, Nightmare Future Escape, whatever. Anyway, let's get started on the figure. First and foremost, I want to say that this figure took forever to release. God knows how many times it's been delayed. It's been taken off, it's been back on. And it's not just with Mafex, with other companies as well. But the figure is finally here, and let's talk about it. Now, as far as articulation goes, and that's always the first thing I jump into, it actually has a huge range of motion in the upper torso that causes you to go, oh, you know, really didn't expect this. You know, as a Mafex figure, sometimes it's literally hit or miss, or it's hindering. There's no real problems with it, with the exception of the arm popping out. That's me stretching the joint too far. But as far as the actual, hey, what do I have to offer? The upper torso actually offers a lot. Now, as far as the scarf goes, it's actually really nice, but it's a bit of an annoyance because the back of the jacket prop actually causes the scarf to come up each time. And it's a little bit on the annoying side. And my diorama is creaking, so I apologize for that. But for the most part, though, the upper torso range is really nice. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's the same upper torso from here. What they did is they molded it a little different and cut it slimmer on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see it. But here they cut it on the inside. The jacket is actually soft plastic, so you don't have much to worry about. You can actually just, play around with it. You can use the hot water trick or the blow dryer to go, hey, if I want to hold it up or prong it up or use some sort of item, you can do so. Now the lower body is where it gets a little different. It still uses the drop down leg method, but it has a better range and it's a little more stiff to be able to hold up articulation in areas. Especially with the right and left leg, you can actually do a little more. So you have a bit more range. There's tons of ankle pivot as well, and there's toe pivot too. Toe pivot is a little on the stiffer side, so please be careful. If you feel like it's a little too stiff, what you want to do is probably do the hot water trick. You don't want to sit there and break joints. So that's something you want to be aware of. There I am knocking off hands. But the hands on mine are actually a little loose, but it's nothing I'm not going to be like, oh, it's terrible. After waiting so long for the figure, you realize you actually got a decent figure, but the thing that you waited for most is that you wanted accessories. So some of those accessories you want or got came with this figure to get it for other figures. But before we get into that, let's go over the accessories that he comes with. So Batman actually comes with open palms. He comes with hands for holding a rifle, which they're really big hands. And he comes with hands for the guns, gun stuff. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but on his right-hand leg, there is a holster for the handgun. We're going to slide that in there, see how it fits, and it actually fits in just fine. So he can actually hold it as well, and let's see how the hands hold the gun. Now, taking it out, you want to be careful and wiggle it out because it's actually a little stiff in there. So I got to be careful myself. So let's put this in there and see. I can see it hold the handgun just fine. No dropping, no breaking. It's really good. Now, when you try it on the actual rifle, let's see how it works out. Actually, it works out just well, too. And these are things I always worry about because sometimes weapons don't fit in the hands, and I'm always worried about that. The gun has a nice detail. It has, I don't know if you can notice it. There's a nice little Joker ensemblage here that you notice there. It's really nice. Also, I know you said that these are hands for holding the gun, but they also hold the binoculars as well. These are really nice. These straps, they're like fake leather or pleather. So it's really nice. And you use these ones to hold binoculars, which obviously he's going to use to see things through. See? Voila, binoculars. Which also added to why Batman has so much range of motion in the upper torso to allow him to do more human-like movements, which is really dope. Batman also comes with a few other things, and that's this unmasked head, which is probably the weakest part of this Batman, is the unmasked head. It's something that's a little annoying because Mafex always promises these great head sculpts. And it's not like the sculpts aren't great, but I'm assuming the paint apps are just really soft on the figure. And it causes it to be the weakest part of the figure sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this head joint off. I'm going to pop this on. And now we have Batfleck. So now he looks a little, a little more different here. It actually looks good in the bat suit. Let's stand him straight up, see how he looks. Now, the one thing that bothers me about this is that the Batman, the suited body, well, the suited body head, the neck is actually a little, it's a little better because the neck is a little stronger and it stands out. Whereas his head here doesn't sit as flush. So I'm going to put the scarf back on, see if that helps. It actually doesn't. It makes his head look a little more tiny. But I guess that works because the cowl keeps a bunch of other stuff in there. But it just looks a little tiny to me. Just doesn't work completely on his body in my opinion. But I could be wrong. One of the other things that the Batman comes with accessories are for other characters, which I'm not even sure that they've shown all of them, but we're going to see some of it now. One of those things is the Kryptonite Spear, which you'll see here. Now, when arming the Kryptonite Spear, you actually got to wiggle it out from the bottom. You can take it apart, and you're going to slide the hand joints, the extra hands they give you, for Batman on this one. So you slide it in, and it fits perfectly as opposed to the hands you already get with Armored Batman. So you can actually arm Armored Batman with the Kryptonite Spear. It'll be dope things. You get 2 hands for each side. Make sure you know about that. You also get the Battle Damage Helmet, which actually doesn't look bad at all. It actually looks really good. Problem is, you had to buy Knightmare Batman to get it, which is not a little rewarding in case you just wanted the Armored Batman. If you just wanted the Armored Batman, you actually had to wait almost a year now just to get it. So it's a little on those, it makes you a little annoyed because this is actually a really good figure if you missed out on the Mezco one. So if you missed out on the Mezco one, you can actually get something the Mezco one doesn't offer, which is a damage helmet. It looks really good. Also, it's a much cheaper figure for those people who are on a budget. The other thing that it comes with is hands for Superman. Now, I think Superman should have already come with hands, especially hands to hold things. You might want to grab an item or look like he's doing something cool or helping people, and they just didn't give you that. And it's a little annoying as to figure out why Mafex did that, but I'll never know. The other thing it comes with is a cowl, which is for this head. When it's ripping it off, doing the scene where Batman takes, Superman takes the mask off of him. There's also a hand for Superman that you're gonna just slide this across and on, and you can see that the hand actually holds up to Batman's cowls really well. So just taking it off, and that's why you have this head. One thing I wanted to test, and I did it earlier, I'm gonna test it and show you guys here, is that I was like, what if you can remove this head and put it on the Batfleck head? The human head, unmasked head, sorry. Human head, I'm out here tripping. Now, let me see if I can remove this top piece. Give me 1 second. I removed it earlier, I don't know why I put it back on. And I'm gonna remove it, and we're gonna sit down, and we're gonna see how it looks without it. Let me see. Give me 1 sec. Now we're gonna try this head on the normal Batman body. And it actually looks like it fits this body a lot better. You know, Fat Man Batman. The head doesn't, it's not the great sculpt, but it does work for this body a lot better in my opinion. I just think it works better. It looks a little bit more natural. It sits more flush. Just cool things. Now, as far as the Superman goes, like I said, it just gave you extra hands. So there's tons of options here that even if you just wanted the Knightmare Batman, you now have options for other figures here, which is pretty dope because you normally don't get that kind of help or, incentive to buy. So even if you were wondering to want out on the Knightmare Batman, you have a lot more options now. So height comparison wise, let's see how he stacks up with other figures. This is him next to his Bat counterpart, even with the normal head. So that's those two guys there. Gonna move him. This is him next to Armored Batman, which honestly, Armored Batman I feel like should be a little bigger, but that's fine, especially because he has spikes under his feet. This is him next to Figma Link, the new one. As you can see, Figma Link is really tiny. This is him stacked up against a Marvel Legends Sam Wilson cap. This is him next to Kamen Rider Double. I don't even know what side to put him on anymore. So as you can see, the Mafex one is actually close to the 6-inch, is in the 6-inch scale. And before I forget, let's compare him to a Punisher. So as you can see, he's really good in the 6-inch scale. So it works out really well for those of you who want to blend or use characters and don't want to use it with imports like SH Figuarts. It actually works really well with American stuff. So these are the things. In the meantime, guys, I hope I gave you all the information that I can give you. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, I'm sorry. In the meantime, hope you're drinking your water. I hope that you are good. I hope that you are doing good. And if you have any questions, please forward them to my Instagram, or you can send the email. That's the easiest way for me to answer. Otherwise, I'm probably going to miss it. In the meantime, guys, enjoy. Have a good one. Later.